Right, welcome to Lloyd Tries Cars. So, as you'll be familiar with if you've been watching the channel, I'm working through a list of top 100 Evo drivers' cars from 2009. This is where I feel cars peaked. This is the list I'm looking to work through. They did a top 100 drivers' cars. And the car that we're filming today, we're at CPS Performance. Thank you very much to Connor, the owner, for chucking me the keys to this. This is an E92 M3, and it ranks number 62 on our list. We've got it just here, and I mean, look at some of the cars that it outclasses. So they reckon it's better than McLaren F1, Koenigsegg, Cooper, Porsche 959. Some of the cars that it outperforms, according to their standards in 2009, are quite remarkable, really. So let's just tell you a little bit about what they said. So they said, sheer depth of talent, remarkable, free revving V8, 414 brake horsepower, 4.8 to 60. Well, I've got a few friends, and they've had a few cars. And for me, this is the car that a lot of people seem to always come back to. It's the E92 M3. And I'm going to show you a little bit more to this car. I'm going to give you a quick walk around of the car, and then we'll look forward to getting behind the wheel. So join me in a second when I talk to you about the car. Right, so the E92 M3 came out in about 2007 with the amazing S65 engine. If you don't know, you will know soon. This engine is an absolute gem. It's a masterclass. This has got the right wheels on it as well. It's got competition spec alloys on it. It's not a competition car, I don't believe, but it doesn't really make much of a difference. This is the car that the criteria is based on. It's a standard M3. This is a lovely, lovely example. It's 98,000 miles. It's had all the right bits and pieces done to it, rod bearings, throttle actuators, all the bits. So it's a really nice example. So we're going to get a really good flavour of what it's going to be like to have a go in one of these M3s. Now, I think you'll agree, it's aged rather beautifully. The interior of these sort of late 2000 BMWs, it just aged so well. I mean, you've got such a nice, thick M Sport steering wheel, such a small diameter radius. The interior still feels really, really classy and comfortable. You've got these fantastic seats that just kind of pinch you in the kidneys. Driving position is spot on. I've had a couple of these this era BMW, and the one thing that always strikes me as a standout feature is the steering. So I'm really looking forward to sort of having a look around that. It's a car that you can use every single day, and such is this trend that we're finding now with modern classics, is that people are coming away from the new detached feeling of these cars and moving back to this organic, naturally aspirated engine stuff, which on that note, the S65 V8, now this is an engine that revs as close as makes a difference to 8,500 RPM. What this engine has done for BMW is wonders. It's a real special engine. To have a V8, it's very DTM reminiscent. It's 414 brake. It's all the power that you need, but you have to work for the power. So really looking forward to getting to grips with that. In terms of general livability, it's got a pair of rear seats. You know, you could probably get a baby seat in there if you wanted to live with one every day, or if you wanted to just use it as additional storage. It's totally up to you, but you can genuinely use these things every day. Now, boot-wise, look at that for boot space. This is a coupe. I mean, you could get so much stuff in there. You really could go for a good long weekend away or a driving holiday, whatever you choose to do. But again, M3, I mean, look at the stance on it. If we had a car like this with a stance, you know, what an era we had. E92 M3, RS4, such a beautiful stance on some of these cars. So again, Connor's no expense spared when he preps his cars, all Michelins all around. So really, really nice. You've got the carbon fibre roof on these M3s as well. Really, really special. Little styling cues like that. 4 exhausts at the back so that you know what you're dealing with. These E92 M3s, for me, is it the best looking of all the M3s? I think it could be. I know the E30s are in with a shout, but for me, this is my era. This is what I always coveted as a kid as an M3. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it drives, and we'll take you through some of that now. Oh, look at that. Dirty bonnet bulge as well. That's M3 for you, isn't it? Look at that. And you just notice little things as well. You've got this little where the mirror meets the A-frame as well. M3s are just dirty, aren't they? Sitting in the car, first impressions, I noticed the driving position is lovely. I'm just going to go slightly forward on the seat because Connor's a bit taller than me. Got this beautiful seat that just pinches your kidney grills beautifully. Your kidney grills? Your kidneys. Sorry, that's BMW mode happening there. So the seat is absolutely superb. I've got so much support. Headrest is lovely. I'm exactly where I want to sit. I've got a bit of classic FM. That's lovely, isn't it? Our very M3. Right, so everything's where I want it. Nice short gear knob. This is a manual as well. They did these in a DCT, which is a great gearbox, but I think there's something very pure about a manual gearbox in these cars. So you will notice there is a crash helmet behind me. These cars are very popular on track, so let's go and find out. Is it more of a road car, more of a race car? Right, so initial impressions just as we get driving. First thing you notice, the shorter gear knob does make a lot more of a sporty feel from a conventional gear knob that you normally might hold. It's a short throw, it's a short stubby gear knob as well, so it feels very, very purposeful. The steering wheel, again, some of the best steering wheels I think came out of BMW back in the 2000s. It's such a perfect size, perfect width. It's just so nice to hold in your hand, and the leather's so soft and lovely in your hands. All the touch points are really nice. Immediately I notice, when you think about a new car and you think, oh, I'm going to go for that nice new car feel, this is a 105,000 mile M3, not a hint of a creak or rattle so far. It feels so refined already, even at low speeds, high quality, low speed ride. It's just absolutely fantastic. It really is. Already you can just feel this is a real quality product. So I'm sat perfectly comfortably. Everything's where I want it to be. Real nice armrest for the elbow, that's lovely. And I immediately noticed that big bonnet bulge, so that I know I've got the proper V8 engine underneath me that's one of M-Power's finest. So firstly, let's turn into this corner. The steering's really sharp, weights up nicely, and this is all at low speed stuff. I've barely got out of third gear at this point. And I'm using the indicators as well, believe it or not. I might not because it's a BMW, but I think on this occasion I'm going to use those indicators. Lovely, really, really nice. The clutch is really light. It's very easy in a front engine car with a manual gearbox and rear wheel drive. It's quite easy to have what they call driveline shunt, where when you come down the gears it's a bit shunty. You can feel the whole transmission moving inside, sort of, across the car. It's hard to describe, but like for example my Mustang, if that didn't have the gear change kind of synchro, it would be quite a shunty car. The last one was that I had, but this, not a hint of it. Absolutely lovely. So let's just we're not going to open her up too much yet because they like the time to warm up the M3s. Any M product car, before you get to the red line, it has a series of orange or amber, if you like, gauges to say that you mustn't really rev it past this line until it warms up. But we're just going to put our foot down. 5th, 5,000 RPM, 6th, 6,000 RPM. Yeah, it's really nice. Pulls really well. Tyre noise is there, but not too intrusive. You can really feel it picking up on the road. The steering straight away is telling me exactly what the road surface is doing. I really felt that pothole there that I went over, but then that's not hard because there's a fucking million of them in this country at the moment. So vision's really good, mirrors are really good and clear. Lots of vision out the back. The only thing with these cars, the indicators can be a bit tricky because you'll indicate one way, try and cancel it. It's quite sensitive. Any BMW owner will know that the indicator cancelling and self-cancelling can be a bit tricky. So any BMW owners that do use the indicators anyway. But yeah, they can be a little bit tricky if you're indicating because they don't really have that defined click. It's more of a kind of feel. You have to kind of half click it back into the middle to cancel them. But again, it's just so simple on this dashboard. I've got the iDrive, I've got all the radio stations I need. This iDrive system was one of the ones back in the day that actually worked really, really well. I've got my heater controls all in front of me. There's no touch button screens, none of that bullshit. It's all just wonderful, simple to use buttons. Got heated seats as well, they're fantastic. Right, we're off. Paying attention. And yeah, so straight away, interior, cabin, really nice place to be. We're really comfortable here, and straight away I can see why people fall in love with these. Connor said to me, be careful when you drive this, not for how it drives, not for its lairiness, but because you will fall in love with it, and I can see what he means already. I've just blipped the throttle for a down change. Oh, it was perfect, absolutely perfect. The throttle response, listen to this. Oh, wow, that throttle response, again, fourth to third. Oh, that's fantastic. It must have a tiny little flywheel which allows the engine to spin up really quickly. That is proper race car, that is. Right, so I'm just about to turn onto one of my favourite pieces of road. Oh, can't get in, I can't stop blipping the throttle. Fantastic throttle response already. Right, let's tip it in. So we're in standard mode at the moment. We've got the power button switched on, because I want that throttle response. We'll try it with the M button as well. Already you can hear the intake just sucking air into the engine. It's such a BMW-like feature. All the noises at the front of a BMW, in a lot of them. Imagine this with a carbon airbox on it, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Let's open her up a little bit. Work for that performance. You have to work for that performance. It's just so exciting to be at the top of a rev range. Little blip down the throttle into third, finding this apex perfectly. The whole car transitions its weight beautifully into that corner. The steering is just absolutely razor sharp. Gearbox, the ratios are so good. That third to fourth ratio is absolutely fantastic. Blip it down again into this left-hander. Absolutely fantastic through there. Take a little bit of the other side of the road because I can see where I'm going. Into fourth. Wow, what a noise. What a noise. That is absolutely sublime. Absolutely sublime. Doesn't feel big on the road either. The car kind of shrinks around you. It doesn't feel like a big car. So many cars now, they feel absolutely massive. Not intimidating at all on this wet road. That could be something to do with the fact it's got the best quality rubber on it, because Connor always prepares his cars to the highest standard. This is phenomenal. What an experience. Wow. Got so much rev range left to get. That was only at 6,000. We've got another 2,000 RPM yet to go. That is absolutely phenomenal. Down into second. Take a little bit of extra road here because I can see through it. Through this right-hander. Brakes are phenomenal. Dead sharp. Wow. Tip her into this bend here. Need fuel, that's not a problem, that just needs a bit of fuel. Traction stepping in nicely. Not interrupting the feed of power though, which is really, really interesting. Doesn't cut the power, just kind of marginalises it slightly. Down into second for this tight left-hander. Tip it in. Traction just stepped in for me then. Into third. Back down into second. On the brakes. Brakes are phenomenal. It's a great car to heel and toe in. There you go, just spin up that inside wheel slightly. I haven't got the diff set up properly yet. I'll take third through this left-hander. God, it's so friendly. It's so friendly. Wow. Wow. This car's done 105,000 miles. Doesn't feel like it's done 30. So tight. This is this German engineering coming into play. Wow, that's exciting. Really, really impressed. That is absolutely phenomenal. So the car was so communicative. Sharp is the key word for this car. It always was. When Clarkson and May and Hammond back in the Top Gear days, they did that triple test with the C63, the RS4 and this. And they all got in the M3 and said, very crisp, very sharp. It's very good. And you always kind of knew that this would be the one that drove the best, and I can completely understand it. The Michelin's on this car working an absolute dream. An absolute dream. Super sharp through there. Let's do that again. God, things are hotting up in here. I'm going to drop my jacket. Really exciting. I'll tell you what, it raises your heartbeat. That's the M3 way. Good grief, I have to drop this jacket off. Oh, Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. What a vehicle. Let's do some driving. Right, so we're going to try this again, but instead we're going to press the M button, which is a pre-saved mode to which the engineers decide you would find most suitable for your driving needs. So, wow, listen to that noise. Let's pop M mode back. Oh, you can really feel how the car just wakes up. Ready? And I'm not moving my feet. You can just feel that slight change in pitch in the throttle. Ready? It just wants to go. It's awake. I'm ready. Let's do it. Let's see how it feels along this twisty bit of road. Fourth gear. I mean, you think that all of the power is going to be at the top, but actually there's plenty of torque low down in this thing. Wow. I mean, the grip is fantastic. I mean, look at that. I mean, that was barely even breathing on it, but yeah, she had a little wobble, but nothing crazy there. It looked after me. Mindful. It is a bit slippy out there, but it's also not my car. Just feeding her through these bends is just fantastic. This traction control system working with me beautifully. There's so much power. There really is. And it's not overwhelming power, it's just the right amount of power. It's just what you kind of want, really. It's just lovely to feed through these higher speed sections. Over the bump, doesn't upset the car at all. Fantastic. The throttle pedals really come down now in terms of travel. I mean, listen to that. It's fantastic. Wow. She's feisty, but she'll look after you if you can drive a little bit, which I don't profess to, but I went go-karting once. But wow, I'm really impressed. I'm struggling to get these wipers to find a speed that works for me. I'm not sure if the auto wiper system is having a day off or what, but let's see what it's like. So, drilling through the 30s, again, you wouldn't know you were in an absolute DTM monster. DTM is Dutch Touring Car, Meischer Schaften Manufacturing, whatever it is, but hey, right, so let's come out the 30, see what she's like through here, into second. We're going to get any spin up. Loads of traction. Fantastic. Really nice traction through there. We'll take third through this left-hander. Just going to probably play it a little gear down through some of these bends because given the day, it's a bit slippy out there, as I say. Just fire it into this left-hander. The throttle response is just to die for. She wants to go. I'm not going to let her. Probably could have held second there, didn't blip it that time because I wanted to brake in time. Flick it through this left-hander, you can't really see much through here, so you've got to be a little bit careful. We're riding the top of the RPM, which we probably don't want to be around here. Much more than enough power. The ride control, the chassis control is phenomenal. It really is, like it does. It's really with you through these bends. It doesn't feel like it's going to spit you at any point. You've got to always delay the throttle through this one. Just a little prod of the throttle and I know it's going to spin the rears up, so I've got to be really mindful of that. Loads of grip, the front end grip is phenomenal. That's not even touching the throttle pretty much. Onto the brake, just a little dab of brake. This is always a fun right-hander, just take a little bit of the opposite side of the road, we can see, so that's fantastic, we'll have a bit of that. Third again. Really use the torque. The steering is so sharp. I'm so impressed with the steering. I can just put the car wherever I want it. It was a bit narrow here, so we'll back off, but that is such a thrill. Such a thrill. Such minimal steering input and this lovely small steering wheel as well. You really don't have to, you can kind of, again, you can think your way through these bends. It's so sharp. I'm so impressed with it. It really is. M mode is just phenomenal. And that noise, the engine, wow. Just clips these guys, it just floats through these bends beautifully, but it's firm enough to tell you exactly what's going on. There's minimal body roll at all. Wow. What a car. I mean, I feel red in the face. It's so exciting. But at no point do I ever feel like I'm in great danger. Unless you were being a prat, then yeah, you're going to get yourself in trouble. But you're going to be in trouble in any car if you're going to behave like a prat. Let's just try this straight, see how it rides. 6th gear. Quiet as a mouse. And you could do lots of distance. This is a bit of an undulating road. Quiet as a mouse. You could sit here all day Wow. Right, so as always, my mark of a quick car is if something can do 60 before that first tree. So let's stick it in second gear. It's 30 mile an hour. No chance with the traction. No chance with that traction, I'm afraid. It's a wet day, what can you expect? But I'm pretty sure that'd be nudging 60 by the time we got to the that first tree. But again, through this quicker stuff, through this, you know, just 60 mile an hour, open, slightly more open flowing roads. God, it is just dreamy. It is dreamy. Wow. Right, well, what do we think of the M3? Well, based on what you've probably seen, I rather like it. Let's try and start with the negatives, and I say try and start with the negatives. There's not really much that I can say. I mean, it's doing 13.5 miles per gallon, being driven in a spirited manner, which is to be expected, really. It's a high revving V8. You're not going to buy this car for the fuel consumption, of course you're not. Yes, they need a bit of maintenance after a period of time. They suffer with rod bearings that need replacing, throttle actuators, things like that. But if you try and find me an engine that's as special as this, that just spends its whole life without any kind of fault, you show me, because I would like to know about that engine. So this is a high revving German built V8, and it is absolutely phenomenal. Do a bit of maintenance, and for what you can buy these things for now, I mean, I think you can buy a bad one for 10 grand. You can buy a beautiful one for probably 25, 30 maybe. You go competition spec and you get, you know, better dampers and other bits and pieces. I'm not well versed on the differences, but I mean, this is just a standard M3 really, and it's wonderful. I don't think I'd need any more than this. It's just phenomenal. I'm so pleased that I've had the opportunity to drive it, and again, thank you to Connor at CPS Performance for chucking me the keys. It's so good. So negatives, I really struggle. I'm really struggling to find any, because for the price you pay for a car like this, the negatives are kind of null and void in my opinion. I really just think, don't be cheap, you know, buy a car, expect to maintain it and enjoy it. As simple as that. Put the fuel in it, and that's that. So positives, oh my god, the engine, oh my god, I mean, it's just so responsive. It feels very motorsport, which is exactly what you want out of an M3. Yet at the same time, I turn the M button off and I sit back, and I've done my track day, or I've done my drive wherever I'm driving, I just want to go home, and it will sit. I'm not going to bother taking it on the motorway because I don't need to, because I already know it's going to ride perfectly. There's no hint of compromise. All the touch points are really good quality. The ride control is perfect. The weight distribution is perfect. It's such a nice car to spend time in. It really is. And this era of BMW has aged so well. I think this is when they were really knocking out properly special cars. I mean, you had, what did you have? You had the Z4M Coupe at this point. Had one of those, great car. You had this. You had the BMW M5 Touring. Obviously, Chris Harris is waxing lyrical about his, despite the issues. Again, goes down. He bought it cheap. He's maintained it. He's enjoying it. He doesn't, you know. That is the point of a car like this. Fully deserves its space at number 62. And the key thing there, I mean, it outperforms on that list McLaren F1, Koenigseggs. You know, there's so many cars that it outperforms that it's got no right to, and it's a BMW 3 Series at the end of the day with some fancy suspension and a fancy engine in it, and that's probably doing it a bit of a disservice. It's a bit more than fancy. So yeah, fully deserving of its place on that list. I'm so in love with this car, and I think for the money, everyone should have one. And I can completely see why there's a helmet in the back, on the back seat, ready for track days, ready to go, because this thing would be a hoot on a track day. A hoot. Yeah, I am rather in love. So what I'm going to do, what a lot of E92 M3 drivers do, and go to the petrol station. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. Really appreciate it. Please find a link to my Instagram page, Lloyd Tries Cars. I'm working through a top 100 drivers list of 2009 from Evo magazine, my favourite magazine growing up. And I think cars, for me, I think kind of peaked in about 2009. There's been some special cars come since, don't get me wrong, but for me, it's all about the driving experience and all about the special engines, naturally aspirated stuff, you know, carried full turbo engines and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just working through this list. So again, thank you so much for Connor. Thank you so much to Connor at CPS Performance. Check out his site. He has got some of the nicest prep cars. He's an enthusiast like no other, you wouldn't believe. He is a proper gentleman to deal with, and you will do well to find a better example of the car you're looking for than buy from him. So he is an absolute gent for letting me drive this car. Thank you ever so much, and we shall see you on the next one. Thank you so much. I'm going to go and buy an E92 M3 now, maybe, possibly. Let's salute you with a couple of blips on the throttle. Lovely. Thanks again.